Hello, collective. First of all, take what resonates and thank you for stopping by. Second of all, excuse the noise in the background because it probably will get noisy because my mom is on the phone. And yeah, I don't know why I feel the energy to pull out the cards today, but I do. Okay, as you guys know, I usually do the majority of my readings in audio format. But yeah, let's see what comes up. First and foremost, like you guys know I do like dream interpretations and dream analysis, right? That's also something a part of my gifts. And the insight I got today was so absurd and so out of pocket. It reminded me of when I was talking about there was some sort of mineral sourcing going on at some place, and they're like digging up things from the ground, for minerals specifically, and minerals can be used for, it's used in a lot of things. Hey, it's actually utilized in iPhones. So but the way they're outsourcing this is not legal. Okay, so speaking of things that are like out of pocket, this specific dream here, this is not on my notes, so I'm just gonna cut it short. There is, I don't know if this is like an amusement park Halloween party event, but this could also symbolize this people in your environment. You and your group of friends, female youngsters, you go to this party, and right after school, and all of a sudden they're like beast like, vampire like. Now, it's not like anything of this sort is weird. Like, okay, you go to this party, it's all, you think it's all fun and games. It also reminded me of like a haunted house situation. And then right after, the people there, their intention was to kind of suck your energy dry. There were vampires, there were beasts. You guys weren't dressed up, they were. Okay, so it kind of looked like a amusement park situation, haunted house situation, right? And then after, you guys were kind of utilized to be sold. Therefore, it's almost like you go in, you're like an orphan, right? In those olden movies, or even like a lost animal. You go and you kind of like find strange people. You join the circus, and all of a sudden you think it's all fun and games because you're getting peanuts, or they're pulling like a prank, and you think that's like family or it's like good people's, but in reality, they're there to utilize you as a human being, as a product. Utilize a human as a product. So that's how it felt. I know it felt very absurd. I feel like it is. If we're gonna flip it in reality, or people that close to you is trying to paint something very pretty, but behind the scenes there's so much going on that's quite ugly. One example I can utilize in my own experience, which I don't do, but I think it will help with this reading. A few years ago, I got, I get insights not only for the collective, but for myself as well. And I was dreaming about a wedding, extravagant, 10-10, and the people that was there was like the cast of Twilight. I love Twilight. I love that series. Like, I was a part of that fandom. I didn't think much of it. But then, I haven't really been to weddings like that since I was like 6. Come to know, 2 years later, down the line, I attend this wedding. And if I'm gonna make it spiritual, because this is what this channel is about in this reading, vampires spiritually are symbolic for energy vampires, like people that suck and dry your energy. They can also kill you, but like basically their tactics are like manipulation, gaslighting, um, controlling behaviors, and all that stuff. And come to find, and glamoring as well. Come to find out that when I was attending this real life wedding of a distant cousin, a second cousin of mine, or I will say this, first cousin to my mom. Not only was I, and I quote, it's so funny. Okay, it's like there were distant relatives. One of them is also highly intuitive, but I don't think that they're like intuitive. They started having like hives and like panic attacks out of nowhere, like before entering the church. And mind you, a church is supposed to be a holy place. And this relative, I was like walking, it was an older relative, and I was walking with them, and I said, it's gonna be fine. I even prayed over them. Like, it was that intense. I've never seen her react this way, like in reality. Okay, this is like pre-wedding, and this relative is basically like a stepmom to the person that's gonna get married, aka my mom's first cousin. So I prayed over, and like the thing is that I never even felt any yuckiness or any off feelings when it comes to the person that was going to get married and the entire wedding. And the only thing I can now go back in time and remember that specific dream of vampires. Okay, it wasn't just the cast of Twilight Vampire Wise edition, like the Breaking Dawn part, but like other vampires as well. The wedding was very top tier. I will say that the money was put in when it comes to this wedding. Now, prior to going to the event with this older, with the stepmom, okay, was having panic attacks in the streets. There are a lot of people that I never really came across started like, you know, all of a sudden showing up. Obviously, and I say this to say, I don't really kind of like go out that much, but when I do, I'm like in and out. So when people kind of spot me out, I'm like, and it's karmic people. So I mean, that's why I'm like, you know. And the funny thing is that I feel like that was a sign as well, that karmic person that kind of came across at that specific time when this so-called stepmom had a panic attack. Prior to all of this, my mom was very hesitant to even go there because she had some sort of like past childhood beef with the relatives. And the thing is that it was something about how she didn't want to offer too much money as a gift giving, because this is what we do. And this side of my culture, where it's like gift giving in terms of money is like the thing to go culturally. Okay. So yeah, she was very hesitant to give a certain amount of money, and she was even discussing this with my sister that lives abroad. And I was there thinking like, wow, at that time, I'm like, this is your family. And the funny thing is that for me, I'm the type of person, if you haven't done anything wrong with me, I do not care what anyone's internal beef is with whomever. Like, if we're good, I'm good with you. You know, I never like kind of meddle into anyone else's businesses other than myself. Okay. I'm always trying to like see, be a good Samaritan when it comes to anyone that has conflict with anyone, especially if, just on a general census, but if I am not a part of the equation, I would be like, you know what, let me look at the the negatives and the positive of the situation here. And I even got into it with my mom about her kind of like feeling some type of way about these specific family members, and it has to do with like favoritism and whatnot, which is pretty common in my family. Favoritism, it's a generational curse. I would strongly stand by. There is a hierarchy system, but yeah, on to the actual wedding event. First of all, her the bride's dad don't have a good relationship with the bride, okay? And I was the one intermediating, trying to make it fix like this. There is a connection, a communication, a link, okay? It's so funny because all of them had regrets. All of them had, confusion, but it was like their own internal, like, conflict they had with each other, family-wise. I was never really a part of the equation until after the wedding, and all of that was kind of shown in the actual dream I got 2 years prior. I would, in this particular case, I always take my dreams serious, but because of what took place at the event, I would never like kind of wishy-washy anything I see dream state wise. Like I would have to dissect it at all, because if I only saw things based on Twilight, or vampires to be specific, I would just be like, well, that's a franchise I actually like, so it's not really that deep, there's nothing that will conflict me in such a way where I would feel some type of way. But because of what took place at the event, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna dissect everything, good or bad. And going back to the dream itself, I will say this, that we're kind of eating very, if you guys have seen Spirited Away, and there's a part of, at the beginning of the scene where the family was really hungry and they start eating, all of a sudden they start like become gluttonous. And gluttony is like when you're overeating past your satisfaction, okay? And they're turned into animals. Mix that in to how people were acting at this event in my dream sequence, but they were like the cast of Twilight, okay? The vampires, okay? I don't really remember Spirited Away like that, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's a bit too much. See, I'm a vegetarian, so I kind of go between vegetarian, vegan, and like pescatarian during like my PMS month. But yeah, what I'm trying to say here is like, take your dreams serious. The event in itself was good and everything. I have had strict spiritual regulations when it comes to my spiritual team, not to partake in certain things. A lot of it has to do with what everybody else is doing. So things that are toxic, drinking, smoking, the things that if I wasn't spiritually inclined, it wouldn't matter. I can't even partake in certain things food-wise as well, but heavy on the things that are generational, passed down, things that are based on addiction in terms of like smoking and drinking of any kind, any sorts. I did that at that time during the wedding. Now, when I say that my guides are with me every step of the way, they are. I don't have the, let me say that there is a limit to what can affect me. Okay, and this is because of my spiritual team. But that doesn't give me access to kind of do whatever. And I kind of did. And what happened was, even though it wasn't as chaotic, the fact that I kind of like, oh, it's just champagne, it's not really that big of a deal. Mind you, I already saw the dream and everything, but because I was kind of going into direction of everybody else, aka the Matrix, aka the normies, the muggles, the aftermath of all wasn't good. The reason why all of these people were quote unquote vampires is because their energy was not for my highest and best good, and they weren't for their highest and best good for each other. And that should have been a strong sign when it came to like, hey, if something is going on internally, even though it doesn't affect you, I mind my business. But all of this, there's a pattern to it. I can get sucked in. The thing is that I was trying to help these people, and somehow the karma was like trying to fester their way into my life, and it kind of did. I know it sounds very absurd, but when you help people that already have strife and you come in the middle, logically you will get caught up in it. It's almost like if somebody's going through something and I'm like, okay, let me stay on path here, okay? So what happened was, but that was also like an indicator for me, like, okay, don't be like trying to save everybody, because some people, they were supposed to go through certain events because it is their karma. It's just what it is. As much as I know this spirituality, there are certain things I don't know, and it's because God said it's between them and them. You know? I'm only allowed to get access to what I'm allowed to get access to. My good nature, my people-pleasing abilities, I call it ability to strengthen myself, fucked me over. What happened at the event, not only I was trying to save this generational at one place at one time, okay, there's multiple peoples, okay, when I, number one, not only got I ostracized, gossiped about, I also at some point got sexually harassed at the wedding. All of this, I told the people that was my immediate family, the people that I was trying to help, have helped during that time and place, for them to turn a blind eye and say, I quote, oh, the reason why, because obviously you're going to pick out what's like the most traumatic. The reason why I was sexually harassed during that time is because, you know, these people were drinking, they were drunk. So I'm like, so that's okay. And they kind of just turn a blind eye. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to help heal everybody's trauma, making them all feel like they're family again, because they could barely talk to each other before the wedding, before I stepped in and mediated. And I'm here thinking like, oh, what the heck is wrong with these people? It didn't make sense to me. To this day, they don't really see that as a problem. Like, and when I say sexually harassed, like if somebody is touching upon you inappropriately, and that's just a oopsie, you know when people are conscious, and the thing is that when I was trying to address this to the bride, they were here like, well, that's none of my business. And I was like, I'm not curse your entire family here and hope the wedding flop. And they, at that time, this is when they're gonna react. It's kind of sad how a lot of people, including my family, you know, actually karmic family, they only react to when things are happening to them. And it's a learning experience to me that, you know, whether blood doesn't make people family. I've had interactions with this. For me, like, if strangers are reacting this way, fuck it. It doesn't really mean much at all to me like that. But for me, one thing I hold really close in regards to like connections is family. A lot of people, you know how people be like, I go for readings for my boo and whatnot. Not me. The things that are closest to my heart is family. Okay. And these are the things that always seems to like fuck me up at some way or point. Not to say I haven't had cray relationships. I have, and that's a result of my connection with the family I have. because I tend to sort out people that have similar mindsets tend to be mimicking when it comes to my family. That's why I always trying to go outside. If I ever were to date within my own race, not to expect that, but it becomes like an expectation. This is a lot. It really is. I do feel like, I say all this to say, this very detailed event and revelation about my own life and what people closest to me and how things has come up could be very, very similar to the dream sequence I had today. If you're going to go and party or going to look for a new house with your friends, your peoples, you're gonna encounter individuals where you feel like, oh, it's not really a big deal. Now I don't sound like I'm over exaggerating because of what you heard now, because I could have easily said that at the dream sequence where it's like you're gonna go to like a party and people are gonna kind of look like beasts and whatnot. It could be a Halloween party. It's that simple. It could literally just be like a haunted house situation, or it could be something of this nature where it's like you can meet people and they were actually shitty people and that are going to inadvertently use you physically for something where it's like you will be under their captivity, okay? Something more horrendous than option 1 or 2. And this is why I wanted to share this dream sequence for us to understand where I'm coming from, okay? Hey, I don't know if the English is Englishing, but this is all I can explain during that time. I might just pull a few cards and then we're gonna go to the next message. So basically, long story short, there's something that's going to come to an end and something that's going to kind of keep staying the same. So it has to do with loyalty. There's going to be an end to a connection. Okay, and for others of you guys, there is going, if you expect your person to change, let's say they were gaslighting, an energy vampire, a narcissist, or they were abusive. Some of them are closest to you, and to be quite honest, it could be anyone, friends, family, immediate, long distance, a lover. Some of them are gonna stay the same, and you're just gonna stay in it, or you're gonna have to cut cords with them. You choose. For others, there's gonna be change, but I just don't know the change for how long. The change feels like, because mind you, in my own equation, I said what I said, I went through what I went through. Nobody reacted, even flinch. Actually, I will say this: the stepmother flinched because she's not immediate, she's not blood, she's married into the family, and she's the only one that kind of reacted. There was so much else that went on after that, but like, that is the proof for me to not interact with anyone else other than myself. And you see, all the signs are evident from that person that had a panic attack, from the karmic person that kind of stopped us in the street, from my mom didn't want to kind of really give the bride a gift. All of that is symbolisms now. This is what I've learned. I don't really recall. I think it also, like, sometimes there's like one specific family member that I've had, like, almost felt haunted by. It's because their negativity is so deep and rooted for me. I can actually see it in a frequency that's quite low and quite scary. I've had those encounters with people that, like, literally don't like me, actively have tried to do something to me spiritually. And there's this one specific family member that have been on that same radar when it comes to me. And at one point, this family member kind of came in like Dementor. If you've seen, I love Harry Potter as well, but a Dementor basically. And you know what that is, if you know what that is. And that also came through. Literally, I don't have the date per se, but I do believe it came and like right after or over the time after the dream I had with the Twilight Saga crew featuring my family. So yeah, that's also like a visual sign for me as well, to kind of take heed on the things that's shown to me. Okay, so with that being said, there are some people closest to you that's gonna still be shitty, and you're just gonna stay in it. For some of you guys, there's gonna be a little change, but I don't know how long. You have to also remember that people that are of a different generation, they tend to be freaking stuck up and stubborn. Okay, so I know who's going through that. But that is message number one. I know it was quite lengthy. Was this too much? Probably, but you know what, at some point somebody will understand where I'm coming from. If not, hey, I can either take down this video or take down this video. Okay, but I'm gonna let you know, guys, this is something of the truth fair. This is not a fable. When I do things of this nature spiritually, it has symbolism to it all. I'm not trying to even justify the fact that what I went through I can share to the collective. No, that's never my intention. I don't really like to share anything about my life to anyone, let alone out in the open like this. But apparently it's gonna help somebody, so this is what I'm doing. Trust the plan, trust the process. So that's probably for me this go-to advice card. But if you're in a situation similar to what I just said, with friends, family, close ones to be specific, then know that just like myself, you have to make a conscious decision if you want to stay in it. I do sense and can tell that some of you guys are just going to be like, fuck it, it is what it is. Okay, despite all the fuckery that took place, that will take place, because let me tell you this, if you don't change it, it's going to be what it is. For some of you guys, there's going to be a change, because I feel like it's gonna be a change, because I feel like it's a time for a change. I don't know how long that change is gonna last, but there's gonna be at least more of a reaction than what I got. So there's that. Okay, so people will be more consciously aware of like paying attention. Okay, that's the energy I'm feeling here. The next, so it's like a conflict in the air. Okay, we can kind of clump all of this until like there's a lot of conflicts. People are conflicted. People want to put you in conflict. Okay, again, heavy on people that are close to you. Will people realize this and give a shit? Probably not. Some probably will, but I feel like it's only gonna last for like a brief amount of time. Like for like, oh yeah, we did something to Kevin, Brittany, Elsa. Maybe we should have, So instead, we're gonna go and buy Kelsa, Brittany, and Kevin a dinner, or maybe a new dress, or start to check in, right? But then it would go like 1 or 2 weeks, and things will kind of go back to normal. That's the energy I'm tuning into, to be honest. For other of you guys, they really would not give a shit and just going on about their day like it was yesterday. So expect that, okay? And not to sound morbid or anything, but it's just a reality for some, okay? We also got message number 2, conflict in, actually no, I already talked about conflict in the air. But 911, sorry, 911, 911 too. I looked up 911, and for me, that's more like symbolic for when, because I saw that on my feed. That's why I'm saying this a lot. And for me, never mind. But like, because I don't think that people would take that advice anyways about saying numbers in patterns, like more than just once. But I digress. So 9/11 is basically on the books, an event that took place at some place, okay, during history. But for me, on a spiritual note, 9/11 is symbolic for something that's going to happen very rapidly, like an emergency, okay? It's also symbolic for emergency reading. I get those numbers a lot when somebody wants a reading. If it's not a reading, like a personal reading, not to be like that person, right? This is not a plug or anything, but it's also an actual emergency that's going to take place, okay? Like a warning sign for somebody. And if we're going to take the spirituality out of it, in my country, 9/11 or 9, or maybe not. This could also be like the emergency number, and not in my country because it's a different number. So somebody's going through something where it's like, we're gonna dissect it, okay? Number one, if it's like somebody's need to call, like, I don't know, the police or something, the authorities, because something is going on, okay? Maybe there's like a stalker, a female stalker around, or somebody's like so unhinged and is want to like break up a connection. If you guys haven't noticed, I talked a lot about like fatal attraction and people being unhinged and crazies here and there. If you have seen my feed of the insights I've done, you would know. So maybe somebody needs to kind of call the police because somebody's acting really unhinged there, like a third party woman trying to like I don't know, go crazy, psychotic. I told you before, like the crazies out here during the retrograde, like they do not play. Didn't I mention before in a reading? I don't know what reading it was, but I said that my neighbor's so-called friend, or they are friends in my eyes, but the way my neighbor is actively avoiding this person, and this person don't understand boundaries. They keep on coming to their house. First of all, they calls them, and they stand on the street waiting for my neighbor to come out. And they have contacted this so-called friend, had even caught me on the street, trying to drag me in the middle of it, trying to be like, oh, can you just wait here so I can call them, or can I call them from your phone so they can come and meet me, like things of this nature. And I tell them over and over again, like, I think my neighbor is busy, I think they're busy, like if they don't answer you, your text, your call, they're busy. At one point, in the beginning, I even called them. Well, actually I did not, but I was standing there when they were calling this person, which also led to me almost being missing my meeting. But God has a funny way of turning things in my favor. But anyways, like people such as this, at one point, that specific person was arguing, having an argue with themselves outside my neighbor's door, and they were just yelling, and again, I was coming out of the apartment, and they saw me. We had a discussion, and I kind of I had to go and start yelling and so on and so on. And my mom, this is how she reacts though when it's outside people, but she was like, oh my God, don't interact with people like that, So there might be somebody also, I don't know if in your own life or somebody else's life, where it's like, they're just kind of doing the most. Like, hey, if you need to call the authority, then do so. Because people are acting crazy. They really are. And also, side note, not to be like that. If somebody does not want to have your immediate connection on you. If you feel uncomfortable with somebody, please do not deal with them. If they don't understand your block or your boundaries, they have to go. You know, they really do. So yeah, somebody might need to like call the authorities, and for others, it could be like you guys want a reading. Okay, I don't know if you want a reading based on all the craziness, but there is a two-faced individual, okay, in somebody's vicinity here as well. Like you could also have seen this number a lot. If you have, this is also sorry, your confirmation here. There is a two-faced individual here that you had intimacy with or sex with. This person want to come towards you and propose, and they're going to do so. And now when I say propose, I wanted to say like in the beginning, oh, maybe they just want a relationship, but they want to come in and propose. And they're going to do so as soon as you unblock them. I don't think all of you guys have, but if you unblock this person, the person that you had intimacy, that was a two-faced individual, their intention, their direction is coming to you with a ring to propose to you. This one has different symbolisms here, but I'm heavy on the ring, heavy on that one. However, it's not based on playing games. They're serious this time. But this card came out, so it's kind of like, yeah, they're two-faced and so on. But them proposing to you, it's not fake. It's not for show. They're quite serious about this. Are you supposed to take it? That is my question here. I don't know how I feel about this energy, but yeah, the person that was two-faced, they're gonna come in with a proposal as soon as you unblock them. Okay. Yeah, like as soon, immediately. Okay, immediately. I'm not lying. There is that, and then we're gonna. Is this a warning sign though? It's not a warning sign. It's good. I don't know if you can trust it, because they do want to marry you. They do want to propose, as in they do want to have a relationship. But I also know, because as I'm literally trying to situate the cards, this card still comes up. Like if I were to like do this, and then this card will come up. Okay, now this card came out though, and that is one card for like, I just want to be intimate. So like they want to marry you, propose to you, make an offer in that sense, because they need to be intimate with you. How are they feeling besides that? Okay, besides them just want to get in this person's pants. So we got this one here. They want to flirt with you. This is how they feel. They want to keep it lighthearted. I want everybody to see what I'm seeing here. Okay. So yeah, they're gonna make an offer. They're gonna propose. Okay, feelings. Let's just let that simmer in for a second. It's not gonna be fake though. It's not gonna be like, this card did come up like this. It's not gonna be fake. This is gonna be very, so I'm getting the energy of like, they want to be with you, they have feelings for you, and they want to keep it light. But you have to remember that they just want to, like, it's gonna sound so foolish, okay? But like I told you before, I've already made a whole TED talk about foolishness. Listen, the reason why they want to be with you, hey, if they can marry you and just keep it fun, happy, in terms of just, I want to make you my partner so we can get intimate. But let's keep it fun. The only reason I'm marrying you because of the intimacy. That's what I'm getting here. So whoever, I mean, first of all, you probably put it on them so they feel like they can't really be with anyone else but you. The situation here is you as the viewer collective. Is this your flavor? Is this the vibe? Is this what you wanted to entertain? Like, I really want to say, like, my other symbolism for the ring. Because it could also be, like, they just want to interact with you, engage with you in terms of connect with you. But I'm really getting here, like, they're actively getting a ring to propose to you, to make you their partner. Because they want you guys to be intimate. They don't want to be with anyone else. They don't want you to be with anyone else. The intimacy was so good that they want to marry you. Where's the love? Where's the Ace of Cups? Because this is actually very factual. This is no joke. This is not like they're trying to come in and deceive you and be with somebody else. None of that. It just, I don't feel love. Like, I don't feel like, I would say this. It's not like they're gonna go and cheat on you or whatever. That's not the case. It's like, I'm going to make you my person because of the intimacy. Is it worth it, collective? And like, let's be for real. But, you know, whoever is into that, you know, it is what it is. Let's go on to, hey, maybe your spirit guide is already trying to tell you about this. If not, maybe, you know what, let me be, that's the message. That is the message. I have to stop over explaining things and all that stuff. That is the message from somebody. Okay, I'm gonna just pull from my advice card and see what you want to do. Actually, you know, never mind, okay. Message number, the last one. I got quadruple 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Yeah, 2, 2, 2, and 2. I feel like I talked too much. But yeah, that is basically symbolic for manifestation. So make sure that you stay high vibrational. Make sure that you have love for yourself and also others, but mostly for yourself. Okay, so your whatever you're trying to manifest comes to you. One example here, actually I don't think I can use that as an example, but yeah, manifestation time. So whatever you want to manifest, make sure you stay positive. Okay, you manifest much faster, I will say this, when you're positive, and that's from personal experience. So yeah, that's everything, guys. Yeah, good luck in your journey in life. This was lengthy. I'm trying not to get cringy about it, because I hate long videos personally. I really do. That's why I never do them lately. But yeah, let's see if this stays up. If it does good, it will stay up. If not, you know, it's gonna go straight to the bin. But until then, good luck in your journey in life, and thank you for stopping by.